All right, hello everybody. Today we are talking about our max effort lower body day. It is on August 25th, 2025. And yeah, so this is our first lift of the week. Max effort, like I just said. So going over the lift first, today we had single leg wall sits. Again, that's just part of the Jake Tura jumper's knee protocol program that I'm trying to follow for a little bit of my knee tendonitis, jumper's knee, whatever you want to call it. Again, his program's probably is definitely really good. There's been a lot of success. If I don't see as much success, it's probably because I'm not following it correctly. Just kind of put that out there. So if I go 3 months of this and don't see a lot of success, it's not his fault. It's definitely my fault. Just want to put that out there. Anyway, again, just for our kind of our warm up, our 3 warm up type exercises that we did today. I did single leg wall sits, which is in the program either like TKEs or reverse sled drags, but I've been liking the ISOs. Anyway, then we had back extensions instead of reverse hypers today, because reverse hypers were actually within the workout. And then we did seated rocker jumps, which I did a little bit differently today. Normally, we're just doing normal seated rocker jumps, sitting down, jumping as high as you can. Today, with like my knee, I actually did them to a box, to a higher box, about 24 inches, what I did, I believe. And then I stepped down to a 12-inch box and did a depth drop. The reasoning behind this takes out the landing forces. So instead of jumping from dropping from 24 inches, 25 inches, what I'm normally jumping, I'm only dropping from 12, and then versus like maybe the couple inches that I dropped from whatever how high I jumped to the 24-inch box. But anyway, that's just to kind of take a little bit of force off my right knee, hopefully to kind of build that up a little bit better than just getting straight into rocket jumps. Because many of you might know, or many of you might not know, my goal is to eventually dunk a basketball. I have a long ways to go, but having a bunch of knee pain probably is not going to help that. But anyway, going through after I've been yapping for 2 minutes, 4-inch block pulls today. First day max effort pulls. Did not go as good as I hoped, but that's okay. Didn't expect anything huge. I had no expectation today, to be honest. I just wanted to see what I could get, which was not very impressive. But anyway, then we had reverse hypers, glute ham raise, pull down abs, neutral grip pull downs, pull ups, excuse me, and I skipped the built-in march, which looks really bad. I've skipped that 2 days, 2 times in a row now, which was just mostly just time problems there. But anyway, we'll get into the actual lift and some videos. So I took 2 different orientations today. I'm going to try to get some posted on other social media platforms. But anyway, I'm going to skip through most of this, just kind of showing it a little bit though. So those single leg wall sits, I bumped those up to 35 seconds today. They're not going to load, but obviously I'm in a little bit of pain there. Honestly, this wasn't even as much for the knee. The leg was just starting to burn there. Um, that's pretty much it. Nothing fancy to see there. Again, we have our back extensions. Right here was more, like I said, just a warm up. So really just working on trying to squeeze the glutes instead of just really using the low back to swing myself up there, which you might be able to see here, which we can go full screen. Trying to just squeeze the glutes up at the top, which you can kind of see there. You can see my shorts kind of closing in there. But yeah, so that's kind of what the warm up consisted of. And then we'll see these seated rocker jumps here from the side view, full screen. I have not actually watched these back, so I'm interested to see what these actually look like. Probably unathletic, if I had to guess. But we're here, hands up, slamming to the ground, trying to get up. Yeah, the landing on the box was not great, but then I went into this depth drop right here, sticking it. So yeah, that's kind of what I did for those. Skipping through to the next one. 3 sets of 5 there, jump, landing, there, and then sticking on the depth drop there. So basically, just cutting out half of the forces that I normally would be experiencing through my knee on that landing, and then just like I said, cutting that in half to kind of just reintroduce that to me. I have not really been jumping for almost a year and a half now, just since stopping high school sports. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of what I think I'm going to go do now. Take it a little bit more intelligently, but and just less painful. So anyway, going through our block pulls today. So again, I did fail. Not as probably fatiguing as a rep as it was for my squats last week. But anyway, we went through 135. Did not record that one. 185, 225, 275, 315, and then 350, and then I went for 365, missed, which we'll see that as well. Going to go ahead and skip through to 275. I put the belt on early just to kind of feel what it's going to feel like. Going a not fully sumo. I probably should go a little bit wider for what I'm trying to do. But I'm curious to see kind of what these look like. I looked at a little bit of these, but not in full screen. So pull in here, and then pull up. Didn't see too much wrong with that. There, I feel like my hips went through pretty solidly there. I'm still getting a little bit new to the deadlift in general. This was the first time I've done a pull from the ground for quite a long time. So if critique me if you must in the comments, I actually would appreciate it. Probably gonna send this to a couple coaches I know anyway to try to get some feedback. But so yeah, if you want to send me some, I would appreciate it. So also my 315 actually did not get recorded, and I don't know why. So I think this is actually the last set. So yeah, so this is the last set I actually hit. So we're gonna go ahead and watch this one. Wrong full screen there. I won't be able to draw, but skipping through a little bit because I'm dramatic and took a really long time to pull. So I think first things first, I definitely need to sit back more potentially and kind of let that bar kind of glide into my shins. And Stephen Thompson of Voodoo Power, he kind of talks to kind of let that barbell float almost. And I think I need to talk to him. He's probably a guy that I'm going to send this to eventually, to let me see, to kind of talk to me through this a little bit better. Again, technique like will come with practice, and I won't be doing these for very much throughout this next 6 weeks. I think we have one more day that we pull. But anyway, just go ahead and watch this full speed. And this moved at about a 0.23, I believe, on the OVR. I don't have it on the overlay, but watch that one more time. Yeah, not too sure, honestly. Like, this felt really good, and then you'll see the next one just didn't go at all. So we'll go here. But yeah, I don't really know. Again, deadlifts are not my strong suit. That just didn't pull. I think maybe. I'm trying to see, did that backside? I'm trying to see if this backside actually popped up, if it was just the one side. So it seems that I pulled up this left side further than the right, and I don't know, maybe if I was maybe not centered on the bar with my hands. I don't know. I feel like I was, because I'm usually pretty symmetrical with my lifting, but I don't know. Shuey over here, he's one of the defensive linemen on the football team. If you see him, and he was kind of talking smack and motivating at the same time. But anyway, that's besides the point. Don't have too much to say there because my deadlift technique knowledge is not as good as it probably should be, but that's what I'm trying to do and practice these and work with these movements and see them more often. But anyway, definitely just think I need to kind of sit back a little bit more and just get a little bit more out of my hamstrings and glutes. But that's all I kind of have on that for now. But anyway, now we're moving through the rest of the lift, which was a little rushed. Like I said, we had a football group coming in that I had to get done before they got in. These were 4x15 instead of the normal 3x20 for the warm-up type ones. So we went to 140 pounds instead of the 100 that we did the other day. Again, these felt pretty good, just squeezing the glutes at the top. I really like on the eccentric portion, which I'm not obviously controlling these very much. I'm just kind of getting the concentric out of it. But I feel like the really good low back stretch that I kind of get out of these as well. It feels really, really nice. But anyway, and then we're moving on to the glute ham raise, which were very difficult. And I actually did not put these in like I was supposed to. So I'm going to do that right there in front of you. Like I said, I can always make adjustments. There we go. I got 876, I believe. Or no, I got 887 is what I actually got. And then I held 10 pounds. Like I said, I don't know why this didn't get put in, but I felt like I remember doing it. Now I'm going to have to go back through and make sure all my other weights are put in at 140. Those are. Anyway, go ahead and watch this real quick at full screen. There we go. All right. Coming to the top, and I did a lot better job on most of these reps to get full knee flexion out of these, but towards the end of the sets when I started to fatigue, I started getting a little short there. Again, I would rather be more here, but again, that time I even got more on the side angle. I'd like to come all the way up, but I really grinded that one out. But yeah, that was the GHRs for the day. I did 3 sets, 10 reps. Got 8, 8, and 7. I was pretty happy with that. That was the second set right there. Supersetted with that. I did pull down abs, not because I was supposed to, but mostly for a time thing. So maybe that could have affected it. Maybe not. I don't know. But these are pretty simple here. Not going to watch the whole video. Just sitting here crunching, trying to add more tension slowly over time. Just grabbing up higher on that band. There was that, and then I got one set of here. So last week I made the good excuse that my NutriGrip pull-ups were down just because of the ring rows, which you guys might know, and we should actually be able to look back on right here on the history tab, which we can, and actually just watch the video real quick. I made the excuse that I got 6, 4, and 4, and then I got 8, 8, 7, 6 the first week, which I don't know why I did an extra set, but anyway. So I don't know why, but my reps have been kind of going down. They went up from last week, which is good. But again, I'm not super happy with these. I don't know if my body weight's getting too heavy too quick or what's going on, but which that could be the case, which is something I need to control. And that's just me being honest with myself there. But anyway, going through these real quick. I think I'm talking right here. Anyway, which is something I can do very, very well for the people that know me. Pulling through, getting full extension overhead. And the arms, excuse me, this is flexion in your arm or your shoulder. But anyway, good. Had to grind out that last one right there. But yeah, so that is one thing. Overall, just lifting technique I really like to get, and just obviously absolute strength. But something, my third kind of thing that I really like when it comes to the weight room things is my vertical pulling strength is so awful, and that's what I'd really like to improve on. So that's something that will probably be within my programs for the next few months. This one as well, but as well as like the cut programs that I will be running after, which I haven't really had anything put down in stone yet. But anyway, for the metrics, had a difficulty of 4. This actually was a pretty quick workout, especially with like the tempo being a little higher than general at the end there, because I probably took 30 minutes, 35 maybe. I took a while to deadlift today. I took rest periods a little longer, and then the rest was kind of just put on all into one. So that made that a little bit more difficult as well, which I normally am sitting at a 3, so I've only had a couple high lifts lately, so fatigue levels aren't too bad. Duration staying relatively the same. Again, this is a GPP session that I hit, and then fatigue levels are relatively average at about a 2 to 3. I've had a 4 here and there, but yeah, overall pretty solid. I have nothing really to complain about besides I'd like to have hit a little more on my pulls, of course, but that's okay. Strength will just have to kind of come with that, as well as the technique, which might go hand in hand. But anyway, besides that, thank you all for watching, and see you in the next video. Again, this has been August 25th, 2025. So see you later.